Today, get ready for an emotional journey and even some shocks. Some of these people have changed so much that they are unrecognizable. But this video is not just about wrinkles. We will dig deeper than that. This is the story of the true cost of fame. We will uncover buried secrets, silent tragedies, and the internal struggles they faced when the whole world stopped paying attention. Why would a big star choose to disappear completely? Who was worn down to the brink by the industry and who had the courage to fight back and reclaim their life? Stay until the end of the video because the final reveal will completely change the way you view one of these legends. If you're ready to uncover the truth behind the spotlight, don't forget to like this video, comment below with the name of the star you remember most, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our journeys. Let's start with one of the most unique faces to ever grace the screen, Shelley Duvall. In the late 70s and 80s, she was the muse of director Robert Altman, a peculiar and captivating presence with wide eyes and a slender frame. Her role as Olive Oyl in Popeye 1980, opposite Robin Williams, made her an icon. But it was her portrayal of Wendy Torrance in The Shining 1980 by Stanley Kubrick that defined and perhaps ruined her career. It wasn't just an ordinary filming session, it was psychological torture. Kubrick, a notoriously perfectionist director, pushed Duvall to her absolute limit. The scene where she swings the baseball bat was filmed 127 times, setting a world record. She had to cry for hours day after day for months. She was exhausted, losing her hair, and emotionally shattered. "I had to hear horrible things," she later recalled. Kubrick said, "Shelley, your acting is terrible." After The Shining, she continued working notably with the children's program Fairy Tale Theater, but a part of her seemed to have been permanently scarred. In 2002, she completely disappeared from the spotlight, retreating to a reclusive life in Texas. The world nearly forgot her until 2016. Her appearance on the Dr. Phil show became one of the most heartbreaking and controversial moments in television. Clearly, she was struggling with severe mental health issues, speaking of delusions and fears. Instead of offering help, the show seemed to exploit her vulnerability to boost ratings. The industry was outraged. Vivian Kubrick, daughter of Stanley Kubrick, called it horrible exploitation. It seemed like the tragic end to her story. But no. After the public outcry, a community of fans and friends rallied around her. A GoFundMe campaign was set up to support her. In 2021, The Hollywood Reporter conducted an in-depth interview revealing a Shelley Duvall who was lucid aware and still possessed her sharp wit. She acknowledged the scars of her past but refused to let them define her. And then, something miraculous happened. In 2023, after 21 years in obscurity, Shelley Duvall made her return to acting in the independent horror film The Forest Hills. It was a modest comeback, but one with immense symbolic significance. That is resilience. Shelley Duvall's journey is not one of decline. It's a story of survival of the brutal cost of art and of a creative spirit that refuses to fade. Despite facing countless challenges, she rose again, refusing to let psychological scars knock her down. Her return in 2023 was not just a turning point, but a testament to the power of perseverance. She proved that no matter how difficult life may get, passion and determination can help one overcome any obstacle. Bridget Fonda was not just a star. She was a member of a dynasty. The daughter of Peter Fonda, granddaughter of Jane Fonda, and granddaughter of Henry Fonda, acting was not just a profession, it was a legacy. And she fully lived up to that legacy. The 1990s were hers. From her chilling role in Single White Female 1992 to The Assassin in Point of No Return 1993 and the stylish surfer girl in Jackie Brown 1997 by Quentin Tarantino. Bridget embodied calmness, intelligence, and versatility. But in 2003, an event changed everything. She was involved in a severe car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway, which left her with a broken vertebra. That accident, combined with her marriage to renowned composer Danny Elfman shortly afterward, seemed to serve as a turning point, a moment to reassess everything. Then, in 2005, she gave birth to her son Oliver. And Bridget Fonda did something nearly unheard of for an A-list star. At the height of her career, she disappeared completely. She didn't issue a press statement, nor did she go on a farewell tour. She simply walked away from acting and chose family. She moved to Santa Barbara, lived on a farm, and focused on motherhood. For nearly 2 decades, no one saw her. She gave up the red carpet for school runs and traded scripts for real life. That's why in 2022, when the first paparazzi photos of her after 12 years surfaced, the world was shocked. The tabloids screamed, unrecognizable, because the woman in the photos was not the frozen-in-time movie star. She was a woman in her 50s, dressed comfortably, makeup-free, living her life. But that shock says more about us than it does about her. We expect our stars to remain forever young, to adhere to Hollywood's rules even after they've left it behind. At 60, Bridget Fonda stands undaunted. She chose peace over pressure, anonymity over adoration. Her story is one of quiet strength, a woman who saw through the game of Hollywood and decided that the greatest reward was a normal life. In an industry filled with glittering lights, she found true value in the simple and peaceful things, from family to private moments, unspoiled by fame. In the 1970s and 1980s, when the modeling world was dominated by blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls from California, Janice Dickinson appeared like a storm. With her exotic beauty, black hair, and full lips, she shattered all stereotypes. She proudly declared herself to be the first supermodel in the world, and for a long time she was right. She graced the cover of Vogue 37 times. She was the muse of Versace, of Valentino. But the fashion industry is a double-edged sword. It worships youth and discards those who dare to age. As her modeling career began to slow down, Janice faced a choice: disappear or reinvent herself. She chose reinvention, but in an extreme way. Determined to maintain her image, she turned to plastic surgery extensively. She openly discussed facelifts, breast augmentations, liposuction, viewing her body as a project that required constant upkeep. "I'm not going to lie," she once declared, "I've done everything." Her drastically changed appearance and outspoken, blunt personality earned her a second career as a reality TV star. She became the ruthless and unforgettable judge on America's Next Top Model, later appearing in numerous shows like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and Celebrity Big Brother. Critics were harsh. They said that her surgeries made her look unrecognizable. Even the doctors on Botched called her case a major challenge. But behind the glamour was a deeper struggle. She battled addiction, anorexia, and past trauma, including being one of the women who publicly accused Bill Cosby. However, in recent years, a different Janice seems to be emerging. After battling breast cancer, she seemed to have found a new peace. Attending events in 2023, her appearance looked softer, more natural. She was still Janice strong and outspoken, but there was a confidence that no longer came from trying to freeze time. Her story serves as a reminder that resilience, not perfection, is the true beauty. In 1986, there was no movie bigger than Top Gun, and no woman cooler than Kelly McGillis. As Charlie, the smart, confident instructor, she was not just Tom Cruise's love interest, she was his equal. She was taller than him, and she was his boss. Before that, she had received an Oscar nomination for Witness. She was a true star. But as the 80s came to a close, McGillis began to feel out of place. The pressure to maintain a certain image, the vanity of Hollywood, began to weigh heavily on her. She didn't want to play that game. So like Bridget Fonda, she walked away. She moved to North Carolina, opened a restaurant, and focused on raising her 2 daughters. She also embarked on a deeply personal journey grappling with past traumas, and eventually, in 2009, she publicly came out as a lesbian. Now in her 60s, she lives a quiet life, teaching acting and focusing on mental health. She has been open about aging naturally. "I don't want surgery," she said in interviews. "I want to age gracefully and accept the changes in weight and wrinkles." When Top Gun Maverick was announced in 2022, fans hoped to see Charlie return, but she wasn't invited. Jennifer Connelly, another beautiful actress, was cast as Maverick's new love interest. McGillis's response to this was refreshing and honest. She told Entertainment Tonight, "I'm older, I'm heavier, and I look my age." And that's not the whole message of the movie. She wasn't bitter. She said she was happy for Jennifer Connelly to have that opportunity. Kelly McGillis's journey is a powerful statement. It's a reminder that true confidence doesn't come from trying to look like you're 30 when you're 60. It comes from living authentically regardless of whether Hollywood accepts it. While many stars from the 80s struggled in the 90s, Helen Hunt dominated it. Her role as Jamie Buckman in Mad About You made her a household name, a symbol of the smart, witty, and warm New York woman. She won 4 consecutive Emmy Awards for this role. But Hunt was not just a sitcom star. She proved her talent on the big screen as well. She starred in the blockbuster Twister, faced off against Tom Hanks in Cast Away, and then did the near impossible. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress for As Good as It Gets, 1997. The same year she was still starring in Mad About You. What has always set Helen Hunt apart is her grounded nature. She was never a diva. She wrote scripts, directed, and produced. She was a hard-working intellectual in an industry that often values only appearances. As she aged, she did so with resilience and grace. She was open about rejecting the pressure for cosmetic surgery, embracing her natural changes. "You can have surgery to look younger," she once said, "but you can't have surgery to look more interesting." In 2019, she reprised her role as Jamie Buckman in the Mad About You reboot. And even though 20 years had passed, that same charm and intelligence remained intact. Living a relatively quiet life in Los Angeles, Helen Hunt remains a living testament that talent, intellect, and authenticity never go out of style. Though she appears less frequently in the public eye, she continues to dedicate herself to the arts and stands as a model of calmness in this ever-changing industry. Helen's career is not just about prestigious awards, but also the respect she earns from colleagues and audiences, thanks to her sincerity and dedication in every role. If you agree that talent and sincerity are always important factors, leave a 1 in the comments. If you think otherwise, leave a 0 to share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Enjoy the video and explore more interesting stories. And be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any exciting videos in the future. Nicolette Sheridan embodied the allure of primetime television. Her big breakthrough came with Knots Landing, where she played the scheming Paige Matheson for 7 seasons, becoming one of the most beloved characters. After a period of absence, she made a spectacular return in 2004 with the role of Edie Britt in Desperate Housewives. Edie was a sizzling bombshell, a troublemaker, and audiences loved her. This role brought her a whole new generation of fans. However, her career has also been filled with real-life drama. She left Desperate Housewives amid controversy, leading to a high-profile lawsuit against the show's creator, Mark Cherry, whom she accused of assaulting her. The lawsuit was lengthy and messy, and although she didn't win, it showcased a resilient side of her. Now, at 60, Sheridan's appearance continues to be a topic of debate, but unlike others, she doesn't shy away from it. In a candid interview in 2023, she confidently stated, "My face reflects my journey and I'm owning it." Her openness about aesthetic maintenance and natural changes reflects a woman who has found peace. She's not trying to look like she's 20. She's striving to be the best version of herself at 60. Now she lives a more private life, focusing on writing and animal advocacy. Her story is one of resilience and unapologetic self-acceptance. Despite the challenges and storms in her life, she remains steadfast, never letting others' standards or expectations overshadow her own path. Her strength comes not only from overcoming adversity, but also from loving and respecting herself despite the pressures from the outside world. No one defined the 90s pop culture quite like Pamela Anderson. Discovered at a football game, she quickly became Playboy's Playmate of the Month and then landed the role that would change her life, C.J. Parker, on Baywatch. With her shiny blonde hair, red swimsuit, and radiant smile, she became a global sex symbol. She was the most desired woman on the planet. But behind that image lies a much more complex reality. Her tumultuous marriage to Tommy Lee and the release of their stolen sex tape turned her into the target of mockery and vilification when she should have been the victim. For decades, she was trapped by that image, a persona she helped create, but one that also confined her. For many years, she seemed lost, struggling to maintain that image. But then a profound change began. She became one of the world's most outspoken and effective animal rights activists, tirelessly working with PETA. And in recent years, we've witnessed a reinvention of Pamela Anderson. The Netflix documentary, Pamela: A Love Story, and her memoir, Love, Pamela, both released in 2023, were acts of reclamation. She told her story on her own terms. The culmination of this transformation came when she appeared at Paris Fashion Week in 2023 without makeup. Amid a sea of perfection, she stood out with her fresh, radiant, and confident natural look. It was a revolutionary act. She explained that it was a form of liberation, a way to say, "This is me unfiltered." Now living peacefully in her native Canada, Pamela Anderson has evolved from a sex symbol into an icon of authenticity. In the mid-90s, hip-hop was a man's world. Then, Lil' Kim arrived. As the queen bee of Junior MAFIA, under the mentorship of the notorious B.I.G., she set the stage on fire. Her debut album, Hardcore 1996, was a shock. She rapped about sex with a boldness and power that no female rapper had ever dared to before. She didn't just stand shoulder to shoulder with male rappers, she made them wary. And her style. The bold wigs, daring outfits, especially the purple jumpsuit with a side boob at the 1999 MTV VMA Awards, became legendary. She paved the way for artists like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. She was both a fashion icon and a trailblazer. But fame also brought challenges. In 2005, she was sentenced to 1 year in prison for perjury after lying to protect her friends. It was a huge shock that disrupted her career at its peak. Over the years, her increasingly altered appearance became a widely discussed topic. She spoke openly about her insecurities, about feeling not good enough in an industry that worships a specific beauty standard. Her transformation wasn't just about vanity, it seemed to stem from a deep inner struggle. Despite the criticism and personal troubles, Lil' Kim remained resilient. Her legacy is undeniable. She changed the game for women in hip-hop. In 2023, she continues to release new music and perform at major festivals. Her story is a complex one of innovation, the price of being a trailblazer, and surviving in an industry that's rarely forgiving. Her career is not only marked by musical successes, but also by being a symbol of perseverance and the ability to overcome prejudice, proving that women can dominate and lead in any field. When Dallas dominated television in the late 70s and 80s, Victoria Principal as Pamela Barnes Ewing was the moral heart of the show. Her graceful and natural beauty was the perfect contrast to the cunning of the Ewing family. She was an integral part of one of the biggest TV shows of all time. But in 1987, at the peak of her fame, she did something astonishing. She left. She didn't leave to pursue other acting roles. She left to build an empire. Victoria Principal was not just an actress. She was a savvy businesswoman. She launched her own skincare line, Principal Secret. This decision made her one of the most successful actresses turned entrepreneurs in history. And here's the intriguing part: her brand was built around the concept of ageless beauty. Even now, at the age of 70, she still looks stunning. This, of course, has led to countless rumors about plastic surgery, especially since she was once married to a renowned Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. However, Principal has repeatedly denied having surgery. She insists that her appearance is the result of strict skincare, of course, using her own products, exercise, and a healthy lifestyle. Whatever her secret is, it's clearly working. She now lives a quiet yet incredibly wealthy life in Malibu. She sold her company and has focused on charity work, particularly animal rescue. Her story is one of foresight, knowing when to leave the party and build something more sustainable than fame. She has found fulfillment not just in helping innocent creatures, but in creating a true legacy that provides lasting value to the community rather than being solely tied to fleeting celebrity. Daryl Hannah was an 80s dream. Her role as the mermaid Madison in Splash 1984 made her an international star. With her graceful beauty blonde hair and quiet strength, she went on to star in classic films like Roxanne and Steel Magnolias. But Hannah was never comfortable with fame. Later, she revealed that she had been diagnosed with autism, which made press conferences and public attention incredibly challenging for her. She is often seen as distant or strange, when in reality she is simply struggling to cope. Rather than chasing fame, she has dedicated her life to a greater passion: environmental activism. This is not a passing hobby. Hannah has been a committed activist for decades. She has been arrested multiple times for protesting against pipelines and advocating for urban gardens. Her acting career made an incredible comeback in 2003 when Quentin Tarantino cast her as the one-eyed assassin Elle Driver in Kill Bill. It was a role that was completely opposite to her previous work, showcasing a gritty, dangerous side of her. Now, at the age of 60, she leads a peaceful life, mostly staying out of the spotlight. She married music legend Neil Young in 2018, and together they share a deep passion for the environment and sustainable living at their farm. Daryl Hannah's story is a rare example of someone who used their fame not to enrich themselves, but to fight for the planet. She has been a strong advocate for environmental causes, fearlessly confronting powerful forces that threaten nature, from opposing oil drilling projects to protecting wildlife. Through her persistent actions and global influence, Daryl has helped raise awareness about urgent environmental issues, proving that her role extends beyond cinema and into the fight for the planet. Finally, we come to Tina Yothers. Throughout the 1980s, she grew up before our eyes as Jennifer Keaton, the spunky youngest daughter in the hit sitcom Family Ties. She was America's little sister, lovable and familiar. But what happens when such a major show comes to an end? For many child stars, this path is fraught with dangers. When Family Ties ended in 1989, Tina was just 16 years old. She did what many teenagers do: she rebelled. She cut her blonde hair, dyed it black, and formed a rock band called Jaded. It was her attempt to break free from the image of Jennifer Keaton. But unlike many tragic child star stories, Tina's story didn't end in tragedy. It ended with normalcy. She didn't become a major movie star. She didn't become a rock star. Instead, she got married, had children, and lived a relatively quiet life. She appeared on a few reality shows like Celebrity Fit Club and What Not to Wear. But for the most part, she chose family over fame. Her story may not be as shocking as others, but it is incredibly profound. It shows that there is a life after the spotlight, and that life doesn't have to be a tragedy or a grand comeback. Sometimes the greatest success is simply growing up, finding happiness, and living a normal life. From glittering icons to everyday lives, each celebrity's journey is a profound story about the price of fame. Some choose peace, while others find authenticity by shedding their makeup. Among all these stories, whose transformation surprised or moved you the most? And in your opinion, which is the true courage in Hollywood, choosing to age naturally or maintaining an image? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more behind-the-scenes stories. See you next time.